Hi guys, hope you're all well. This is Ulas. Today we'll study the triceps muscle. Okay guys, let's get started. Guys, what do we mean by triceps? Triceps is head, isn't it? The muscle which has three heads is called triceps. Some places they even mention it as triceps brachii because it is in the region of the arm. Okay, we'll study that in detail now. Guys, we'll start with the origin of the muscle. What is the origin of a muscle? Origin of a muscle is the least movable part of a muscle, isn't it? During its action, the least movable part, muscle has two heads. One end is not moving much, one end is moving much. Not moving much is the origin and the one moving much is the insertion of the muscle, isn't it? Triceps muscle is here, this one. Now, what is the origin, guys? It has three heads now. So, it is taking origin as long head, lateral head and medial head. Now, let's start with the medial head. I'll tell you why. Guys, see here, the medial head is taking origin from the posterior surface of the humerus. Why? Because it is in the back. The muscle itself is in the back of arm, isn't it? Arm is the brachium and brachium is mainly made up of humerus bone. So, the posterior surface of the humerus, where the like there is a spiral groove in the posterior aspect of the humerus. Below that, it is taking origin as a triangular area. See here, guys. This here is the spiral groove. This region. And it is taking origin below it. See, in this region, I'll highlight it. See, this is the region where the medial head of triceps muscle is taking origin. Guys, the reason why we call it the medial head and the lateral head is at the level of the spiral groove, one head is taking origin from above, one head is taking origin from below. At that level, the one medial to it was called the medial head and the lateral one was called the lateral head. Lateral head is coming from above. Okay? Okay guys, now where is the muscle getting inserted? The triceps muscle is basically getting inserted into the olecranon process of the ulnar bone, all three heads. But there is an interesting way how they get inserted. We'll study that now. What is the long head and lateral head doing? Long and lateral head, they both form a superficial common tendon first and they go over the medial head. And the medial head also gets inserted partly into the olecranon process and partly into the superficial tendon. Okay, guys, basically what is happening is, if this is a humerus bone, the long head of triceps and the medial head of lateral head of triceps, the long head and the lateral head, they both are forming a common tendon and getting inserted into the olecranon process of ulna here. Okay, now the medial head is there now. Medial head is here, it is below that. That is also getting inserted partly into this tendon and partly into the olecranon process. That is basically what's happening. Okay, that's like it is difficult to represent it this angle. The medial head, there is a common tendon which comes like this from both, and the medial head also gets inserted into this, and all the three of them are getting inserted into the olecranon process. Now, what is olecranon process? See, the humerus, the posterior surface has a fossa like this. That's called olecranon fossa, and the ulnar bone has a like this. Ulnar bone is like this. Okay, it's like this. This is the olecranon process of ulna. This is the coronoid process. So the olecranon process comes and gets into this olecranon fossa. This is the olecranon process of ulna. This has a superior surface now. So the muscles gets and inserted here. Comes and inserts here. Okay, that was the insertion. What is the action? Action of a muscle. Is it crossing the elbow joint? Yes, it is. Is it crossing the shoulder joint? Yes, it is, because long head is coming from the infraglenoid tubercle. That is partly a part of shoulder joint. So what are the actions? See, if this muscle contracts, it will cause extension, isn't it? Extension of elbow joint is a strong extensor of elbow joint. Mainly the medial head of triceps is involved more in extension of elbow, and only if the resistance is given. So this is free extension. But if I hold like this and try to extend, during resistance only the long head and the lateral head of triceps get involved, or else only the medial head will do the job. Now there is a lateral head of long head of triceps which was coming from the infraglenoid tubercle, isn't it? It is a part of shoulder joint. So when we are abducting the shoulder, the long head of triceps is also getting involved in giving the stability to the abduction movement. So that was the actions. Now what is the nerve supply, guys? It is a voluntary muscle, isn't it? So it will be served by a peripheral nerve. It will be supplied by a peripheral nerve. What is the peripheral nerve supplying it? That is the radial nerve. Radial nerve, isn't it? It is giving out three branches. Three branches where to three heads. Where in the axilla. It is not giving after coming into the arm. It is giving a branch before it enters the arm. So how is that important? That is the clinical importance here. See here, guys. you know that during the shaft fracture of humerus, the posterior to the shaft there is the spiral groove, isn't it? So if the spiral groove gets, if the fracture is near the spiral groove, the contents of the spiral groove will be damaged. Which are the contents of the spiral groove? The radial nerve and the profunda brachii artery. If they both are damaged, the radial nerve, if it is damaged, the muscle supplied by the radial nerve will be paralyzed. But the thing is, the radial nerve is giving branches in the axilla, not in the radial groove. See here, the radial nerve comes like this. I mean, it's just a rough diagram. Then it gives the branches to all the three heads in the axilla itself. So even if it is fractured here, if the shaft is fractured, the radial nerve would have already supplied the muscle, so the muscles won't be paralyzed. So triceps is spared during the fracture. And one more important thing is, during electromyography studies, it was found that the medial head of triceps is more working than the lateral head and the long head. So that were concluded based on the electromyographic studies. That was the importance of triceps muscle. Okay guys, if you have any doubts, please post it in the comment section. I'd be happy to answer you. Take care guys, keep studying, keep loving, keep enjoying. Bye.